When you take on a character, do you think that you're putting your soul into them, or that you're taking on a new soul?
No, I don't necessarily think you're taking on a new soul. I think that's your soul that you already have, just being adventurous. Like it's something that's already there within yourself. Like it's to me, it's just your soul expressing who you really are. Like what better way than to express yourself?
Well, when you take on a character, it's kind of like you know when you're talking about the body being like an empty shell, it's kind of like your soul using that shell to change itself to show something else, if you get what I mean. So it's like reflecting what you've absorbed. Like when you're talking about how you took on your friends as characters sometimes, it's like what energy you take in you can kind of give off as well with these different characters you have, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think because of the way that I approach character anyway, I have to put something into it. So I have to create that person within me, so that when they say action, you can then talk like them as they would talk, even to the point where sometimes where you'll end up ad-libbing because you're at that point now where you are that person. And so it feels natural to then add on to whatever the script was to finish it off. So you'll end up changing the words slightly because you're now that person. And it's really irritating sometimes when you work with a director. Understandably irritating because they'll say the same about me. But don't do that. You wrote the lines and you're like, yeah, but you don't understand. That's not the person. They wouldn't do that. They would do this. In my head, I don't say it out loud. I'm not that bad. But in my head, I'm like, yeah, but that's not right because I believe now that I'm that person. And until we've cut and I've swapped clothes and I'm out there and I'm not anymore. But then I do that wherever I am. I think, like I said before, I think for me, if we call it a soul, I think it is, like I said, an onion where there's a core of you inside that you keep safe, and then there are levels around you, and depending on who you're talking to, who you're interacting with, whether they're family or friends or strangers or whatever, work colleagues, then you show a little bit of difference of the essence that's inside of you. And it's good for your own protection, I think. It keeps you safe.
It's like making a character. It's like moulding clay, isn't it? Because you have it there, you can change it, you can paint it, you can put everything on it and do all you want. But then on the inside, over the crust, it's just clay, isn't it? And that's what I see acting like. It's like you put on this, almost you cover your skin and everything, and you do clothes and everything, and that's all. That changes you, but inside you're still the same person. You're just putting on this sort of facade.
But that's what I'm saying. Who to say that, say for example, see how we're all sat here in this room right now, how we all are. Who to say that this is who that our soul wants to be. This is why I think acting is a good way of expressing, your inner, how people say, inner kink, inner goddess, inner demons, inner this, that, So basically, your soul is not meant to be, this one persona or this one individual all the time. Just like you have different moods, different, I think the soul is there to express who you are, and you can't just be one dead boring character. No. I can't imagine nobody in the world who would just be that. So, I just think the soul is, I think there's a soul in all of us, and I do think, it's not just something that is just there. It's there to express who you really are, because even when you're acting, it's what we call it, it's acting, but it's you expressing, how somebody out there might feel, who knows, but you're expressing an emotion, so, and it shows that you can express different emotions even though you might not experience it in your life or stuff like that. So, but then again, there's people who believe there's no soul. And aren't there anyone here? I like the controversy because I've got so many questions.
No, I do believe it. In the last film I had guilt because I do believe in God and I do go to church. And I do often have guilt actually, because the last film that I took, as I said, I was this glamorous landlady and I had bodies under in the cellar and all of that. And I can remember thinking, shall I turn the part down? Because it was so contradictory to what I believing in God and I go to church and all the rest of it. And I can remember thinking, oh, it's really bad for me to do this role. It's like worse than any of the others that I've done, or the others are not good. And I can remember having such deep guilt about it, so much so that I even said sorry to God. I said, I've accepted it, I'm really sorry, and I can't get out of this role now because they're expecting me, and it was a lead role and all that carry on. So, but I can remember thinking, this is not right. And I normally wear, I sometimes should I say, wear a little cross. Yeah. And I can remember thinking, I cannot wear this cross doing this film. And I took the cross off. I wouldn't use the cross, and I put a blue necklace on instead. That's something that I wouldn't do. So it was. I think acting, and although you are right, it does bring the inner soul out. It does bring it out, and that is you're not wrong. You're perfectly right. But I think also if you're sometimes also with modelling, I get quite a guilt with the vanity aspect of it. Yeah. You know, because as I told you before, that in my private life, I'm sort of a contradiction of this carry on, and so sometimes I can get guilt of the vanity of it all. You know, and I think that can sometimes conflict in me quite a lot. But you know, once you've down this road and you know you do get quite a lot of work off it, you can't sort of, you know, you're there.
And you do enjoy it.
And I do enjoy it, and I do love it. But it can give you inner struggles, and I found that more with the acting, because the parts, for people to watch a film, it's got to either be sexual, horror, violence, or something.
Thriller.
It was the one that we did together.
If it wasn't nobody would watch them, would they? What was that?
The one we did together, and you were, I think at the end you were buying drugs off me, and I was really. We've worked together a few times, and I've obviously got to know you, and we've had a similar conversation like this about
in that pub, wasn't it?
And I was reading the script, and the first part of the script was basically that I was some sort of paedophile.
That's right, you were.
And I was,
and
I was like, I really don't want to be doing this. Yeah. And I was about to decline it. I read through it, and as I got to the end, I was like, oh, actually, no, I'm not. It's just, it's a joke thing, it's a twist. So I was like, okay, well, that's fine. And I was selling drugs, and I'm like, well, that's all right. I'm all right with that. I don't mind. But then when I came over to that's fine. And if you need any help, no. But when I got there, and then you arrived, I was genuine, and I think I said to you at the time, oh, are you in this? Because I really didn't think that you would do it. You know?
No, this is what I'm trying to say, and it's sort of about, it wasn't a big part, was it, though?
No.
For the
You were the glamorous girl at the end, so the joke would be funny. That was
it wasn't funny. But that's right. And so, but for somebody to watch a film, anybody to watch a film, it's got to have all these factors in it. It's either horror, sex, drugs, or something. There's not many films that are going to bring the box office in, so to speak, that haven't got these roles, have they? I know. So they all conflict on the inside as to. So when I go to church on a Sunday, I sometimes get this. At the end of my life, when I die, how is this going to stand up?
It will stand alright.
I do sometimes get that.
God's there at the pearly gates. Like, oh, I saw you in that. I loved it. It's like. You're like, oh, God. Sorry. Yeah, thank you.
That's
Oh, thank God. I mean, sorry.
It's funny that you're talking about this, actually, because I had this conflict, going off since I looked at the last film. But you are perfectly right, as in it does bring out a lot of inhibitions, which is really good. Acting is so good for that, so good for that, and everything else. But then it does have this, depending on whether you believe in God or not, this contradicting thing going on. I suppose it's a really peaceful job to do if you don't believe. Because you can do and be anything without a conscience, can't you?
It's nice, but then again,
do we have an unbeliever? Do we have an unbeliever?
I'm not going to say I'm an unbeliever. I grew up in church, but honestly, I'm just going to put this out there. Don't judge me, guys. But if I should get a job right now and they said go nude, I would And I grew up in church. My grandma was an evangelist. I mean, everything.
I can confidently say so would I, because the chances of anybody wanting to see me nude is pretty slim. So.
You killed me with that. Well, I don't know, but you know, sometimes because I see acting stuff, and they'll ask questions like, "Are you alright? Kissing, you know, getting nude, going topless." I'm like, dude, I was born naked anyway. Like, I know, I didn't come in the world wearing clothes. So.
This goes back to what I was saying before, you know, that if you're putting a different sort of layer on top of it when you're acting. So if somebody said to me on a normal sort of night out or something, "Oh, go and kiss him," I'd be absolutely no, of course I'm not going to do that.
Exactly.
But then you stick a camera there, and I go, yeah, it's fine, yeah.
But the thing with Julia, and I've definitely gathered from everything you said, she's got morals and principles. That's the major difference between her and me. I don't know, really.
Let's put this right first. I have morals and principles that in my young life I do things that were not great, and so what I'm trying to say is that I don't want to. I'm not. Don't make me white at all. Go on. That's something else I have to think. I really am not white, because I do these roles. I have taken these acting roles, and I have done the photographic jobs, and I have done these things. What I'm trying to say is these things that you might say are not right if you went and to the little lady in the church and said, "Oh, I've done this," she's like, "Oh, you know." So the point I'm trying to make is that I have done what you might say wrong in the sight of what the church or God might think. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
Don't. I have morals. That's why I have a conscience, if that's what you're saying. But what I mean is, I am not. I have done wrong, basically. Don't see me as white. God, that's not right. So, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally get what you mean, because I do
yeah.
certain things, and I really couldn't care less. As long as I've got my recommendation on my money or some photos, I'm good. Honestly, so yeah.
So no guilt.
Yeah. So who doesn't believe that? Jesus?
Kind of. I'd say I'm agnostic about the idea of God and like an afterlife. It's kind of like I'm a bit between, because I do A-level physics, and that kind of takes away from the idea of a higher power and learning about the history of the universe and seeing all this beauty about galaxies and stuff. And then when I think about consciousness and a soul, like I kind of believe it, but I feel like I'd need some physical proof in a way, or like some scientific evidence to back it up. And I'd quite like that, because I like the scientific view of like the world and seeing facts and figures and stuff. But I do.
You're an empiricist. You
Yeah.
have to have scientific proof.
Yeah, but I kind of I don't know. I like the belief of like the power of the soul.
I
And
think you already have your scientific proof, babe. Check the world.
Right,
No, really, I was actually speaking about something similar to this morning to someone. Like, if you look at the world, they always say the world was created from a big bang, scientifically, yeah? Watch this. Right now, in this day and age, anything to do with science, who does it? Us humans. We teach each other the science, so there has to be someone, something, somewhere that's created the world, the trees, the clouds, the sky. Did they just appear like that?
It's because we fear the unknown, isn't it? So we try and kind of like give reason to stuff.
Yeah, so I
also
use the
believe that's
world.
why religion
Yeah.
is a big thing, and was a big thing really early on, because we were like, this
'Cause
God is the reason
it's
for
just
it.
like
And that's how we
religion
explain
Religion
it.
was.
makes complete sense, doesn't it? Because
Yeah,
if you're-
it does,
if you're-
doesn't it?
If you
Well, I don't know about religion. I'm just
Like, I'm
talking about a higher being
If
or
you
a
think like a few
God.
thousand years ago, and you know, and we didn't have the technology and the knowledge that we have now, there has to be some way to explain it.
Yeah.
And like there was
a lot of people were kids, and when I was as well, and I'm sure other people was, is that you start to wonder if everything centres around you, and it actually is it just that, you know, is it just you that's really here? Is all cameras watching me, and why is, because you're trying to explain what the world's about and where it's all from and where we're all from. So religion makes complete sense like thousands of years ago. Learning from the books from the religion is not a bad thing, I don't think necessarily. But then
Oh my God!
it's God.
God's here. God's here. God's here.
That was a weird time.
Cheapest was he's just left the building.
No, but really, if you
I
check
think if we
it
carry
out,
on with science, though, I think there's nothing wrong with believing in God, because there's still things like whether you believe in the Big Bang, as you were talking about, or anything
but
else.
I
The
believe
one
this.
thing that we don't know is when they say that the universe is expanding, into what space is it expanding?
Yeah.
And what is
Yeah.
that space? and then they say that it's going to implode on itself, and then what will be there after it implodes. So there's still stuff we don't know.
Yeah.
So it's still absolutely fine. And also as well, it's always a good idea for insurance purposes. You know, like, if you hurt yourself, we still go, you know, please God, make it go away. You know, and just if you're going to have, a long lingering death, well, I'm pretty sure we'll all call out to God at that point.
Yeah.
So it's a good insurance policy anyway. You know, it's handy. Keep it in the back of your mind. Don't dismiss it completely, just in case.
Yeah.
I was never raised around churches and anything like that. I was raised in a little farming village, and so this is going to sound really like pagan and really weird, but like my idea of like this sort of powerful being was there was this huge oak tree just at one point, like it was so tall, and I was like, that's a bit terrifying because it's like this huge. Because in my eyes, trees live, like they're sentient beings. Well, they're not sentient, they just can't talk.
I agree with him.
And stuff like that.
Like in Pocahontas.
Yeah. The Game of Thrones, they have the faces in, yeah.
One of trees.
And so, like, when you see that, it's kind of like this being who's been around for like hundreds of years, and it's seen like people come and go and stuff. And to me, it's like kind of really shows you the power of nature, doesn't it? And it's going to sound quite weird, but I have a little tradition where, Padley, what is it? Padley?
Gorge.
Yeah, Padley Gorge. And there's those rivers that go up. I always throw a penny in it because for some reason in my mind I'm like, if I slip and drown, I'm not. It's like it's going to stop me from if I drown or something like that. And I always throw a little penny in there. It's like that's for like whatever's living in that to stop me dying.
Again, isn't it, really?
Yeah, innit? I just go ping.
Talking about oak trees though, do you not think that oak trees are amazing?
Yeah, they are.
It's
No,
like-
trees are just amazing.
You look at a tree in certain light and it looks quite menacing, and then in other lights it looks so beautiful and welcoming. It's just I'll throw that there.
I don't know if you've ever seen a tree get hit by lightning. It's terrifying and beautiful at the same time. I've only ever seen it once. I was walking my dog and it started like proper rashing it down, and there was like I forget what it was. It was like a sycamore or something, and it just went.
Was it close to you?
No, it was a fair distance away.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't really close. I would have freaked out more if it was.
Yeah,
And it just went.
it
just hit it, and we were like my dog started freaking out, and then I started freaking. It's burnt down. It's in the middle of a field, and it's all gnarled and cracked. Yeah, I saw it. It just went. I was like, shit. I saw it, and then just went, run. I turned around and I just went, oh no.
That's the other thing. Does anybody believe that trees have soul? I think they do too, because they're alive.
Yeah.
Without trees, we wouldn't even be here.
You seen that thing where like they believe trees can speak? That's like tripped me out. That's like the trees
I
can
read a
chat
full
about.
fact book about that actually when I was
How's
a
that
kid.
The
Yeah.
Far
trees
away
give us
tree.
oxygen.
Yeah, I think it was real. Enid Blyton book, I'm sure it was real.
What did it say about that?
There's a soul.
The
But
trees
what's
all
the
talk to each
windows
other.
to the
Really?
tree's soul?
Yeah.
Would
I
it be
reckon
the
they do, to be
roots
fair.
or
Yeah.
the leaves, the branches? Because there's so many, exterior extensions. I leave that to y'all, the pros.
It's like to say something's living, it's like it needs energy, and then they say like, I don't know, we used to have this thing called what was it, Mrs. Garden or something back in like year 8, and it was like biology where they'd be like, oh yeah, something needs to respire, move, communicate or something else, and then that's why people say trees don't live. But I think it's mainly down to like the idea of like taking energy to live and grow, and then to give it back after it's died. That's what trees do, that's what plants do, we do that. So it's kind of like, it's a contradiction to nature to say that trees don't live. So I kind of get that, and I do believe trees are kind of like a living organism as well.
Yeah, I think
And
they
it's
are.
probably
yeah.
what partly makes us ignorant anyway. Because we say that they don't talk, but that's because we don't speak their language.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Plus,
That would be like going to a country where you don't speak that language.
Yeah,
You hear
yeah.
lots of people talking and go, yeah, well, they don't mean anything because I don't understand what
it's
they're
like,
saying. Just because you can't hear a tree talking or
It's
fish
something like
talking.
Yeah, they don't mean anything.
yeah, we like. I don't know if I'm right here. You do philosophy, Hannah. You do philosophy, so I reckon you'll help me. We define ourselves as being conscious because we can say I am conscious and I can think I can do
I
this.
think
we-
they're
therefore
right.
I am.
Yes,
We're
that's
just saying
it, there it
that.
is.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that, and because plant life and stuff like that, and animals can't speak, we just think, oh, it's not sentient, it's not going to matter if we do anything to it.
It's like
Exactly.
It's like
My
the power
dog-
of reasoning.
My dog could think I'm an absolute knob. I could never know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Sometimes
could
great
stroke
looks.
my dog and it just goes, just go away, and I will never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know my cat thinks that about me. The way he just looks at me, I just know that.
Yeah. Or if the trees are just thinking like, if you're in the forest, just like don't pee, don't do anything.
Yeah.
They just see somebody walking, they're like, oh god.
I
Stuff
think
like that.
one of the like main things that one of the things that really interests me in philosophy is that like that the soul is like the animation of a human, and like without the soul is like the essence of who you are, and there's lots of different theories about like if the soul is connected to the brain, and if like the brain is sort of what makes the soul because you can think that's why you have a soul, or if the soul is connected to the body and that's why you live and breathe, or it's really interesting because there's so many theories on what the soul is actually like connected to, and if it is
So that if
itself.
someone was in an accident and they got brain damage, so they've got brain damage, but they've recovered from the accident, they're not going to die. So they now live their life as what we might call in a state, but they can't recognise anybody,
Yeah,
and
that's
like
I
a
don't
coma
want
or
to
something.
I don't want to use terms because I don't want to.
yes,
Right.
yeah.
That's fine.
So like so they're in a state, so they can't recognise, they can't eat, they can't drink, everything's done for them,
Mhm.
so that they have no
And, like,
neurological
Are they
activity
human,
whatsoever.
sort
Yeah.
of? Yeah.
So then basically, do you think that person then is no longer a person? Are they still a person? You know, because they're not. So if that person, say, was called Tim wouldn't be there, would he? If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He would just be this
Shell.
shell.
with life.
But they've got life. So is he still a soul? Is he still
I
a
think it's
person?
really hard. Hi, Nina. Yeah, it's really hard to determine because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who would say, well, if I get in a car accident or something like that, please just euthanize me. You know, because I wouldn't be there. It's not me.
It's interesting though when you just said
Yeah.
that, because I think a lot of this soul that we're talking about,
Mm.
I'm giving away how much I believe in these souls now, but I think some of it is projected. Because
Yeah.
it's interesting, when you talked about that, I was quite, ready to say, well, it's a difficult one, maybe the soul's gone or something.
Mm.
But then you gave him a name. So once you gave him a name, then you're up, then it's like, oh, it's a person. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same, like people who have pets. Oh, that he knows me. We love each other. And it was effectively a wild animal. It may have been now domesticated, whatever this pet that you have is. But the horse can still kick you, or the dog can still bite you.
Yeah. Oh.
But you put a soul into it by giving it a name and giving it a character and talking to it. So now you're projecting that soul into it.
Yeah,
Or with like a really small baby, the parents are very maternal, obviously, and then they show you, and with the best will in the world, it's just a mashed up face. I mean,
It's Winston Churchill.
It's literally,
That's
literally
it.
just being
That's all they all
born.
look
I mean, I'm going to say it's pretty because you want me to, but honestly, just
Yep.
bring it back in
I'm
a year or
with
two
him on
and then let
this.
it build out a bit. But right now, it's just a screaming thing.
Yeah.
But clearly, people project a soul into that baby, and and as it grows up.
They see the potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You sound savage, man. No, I thought it was just me that's like that, but honestly, no, really, because but what I was going to say is Julia's example was perfect. In fact, the fact that this person can't move Tim, yeah, no, really, whether or not he's got a name, her point was really on point. Like the fact that you've got a person there who's got life, they can't do anything for themselves, just like you said, just like a baby. Back to Hannah's point, if the soul is connected to the brain, they'd be able to do everything.
Yes.
That tells me the soul's only in your body, and the body doesn't tell your soul what to do. Your soul is really who you are, not this
Yeah.
body.
There was a very long time ago. There was a religious. This is from a history studies. This big
That's
brains.
great.
Aye, and it was a religious sect called, I think it was Carthians or something like that, and they believed that giving birth was one of the worst things you can do because you're taking a soul from the spirit plane and you're trapping it in a flesh kind of cage. And their principle in life was live life to your best, have fun, but if you die young, that's fine.
It doesn't matter. Sound like we're sins.
No, no, and then what the priests would do, they would drink like drinks with broken glass in it to like make them die quicker. But in their religion, it was, we are just these things holding in souls, and these souls want to get out, but they're not going to inhibit our life, because it's like we are. It's like, well, you're here now, so I'll let you live your life, but the moment you're gone, I'm out, and stuff like that. And so that was very ancient. That.
I think you should make a film like that. It sounds pretty sick. Literally, that's what came to my head.
There you are, there's your next script.
I'll tell you all about them.
Well, I've just realised like how boring I am listening to all you guys. I'm not very spiritual, like I never have been. I mean, sometimes I think that like someone's watching me, and because things happen and I'm like, oh, why did that happen? That's like such a good coincidence that happened. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just something I tell myself to make me feel better. But I do. Oh my god, I don't know what I was going to say. I do have a question. Oh yeah, I remember now. I do have a question like with people that believe in souls, because I've never known. But you know, when you die and like the soul leaves the body, does the soul still think, or is it just like energy that's just like flowing freely?
See, this is where we really don't know. Anything we tell you for that question, we'll be fibbing, because we don't know. We're still alive.
I think the answer to that is and what religion you believe as well.
Yeah.
Your different religion would tell you different things
Hindus
about what
believe in
happens.
reincarnation.
I was going to say that it kind of sounded like
if you don't believe in religion, I'd just say just put it down to your soul's gone and it's just elsewhere. You just don't know where it is. Like literally, because it's not there anymore, clearly, because the body's there. But the soul's just gone somewhere. We just don't know.
I think you just need to be comfortable. Everybody needs to be comfortable with their own thoughts on it. Because I think Stephen Fry said something about, these people that tell you they know what happens after you die are either a fool or they're trying to fool you, because clearly they don't know, because they're already dead.
Alive, yeah.
This is what I mean.
So nobody knows. There's nobody's popped back to tell us.
I will
Houdini
if I die.
had a big thing about a Ouija board, and he wanted. He made a pact with his wife that when he died, if he died before her, that he would come back and use the Ouija board and talk to her about it. And she waited all of her life, and oddly enough, he never did. So.
On the Ouija board.
Yeah.
The Ouija board, my bro.
Nobody really knows what happens. But there are lots of people out there that believe and have a really strong faith. Absolutely. And that's your faith, and you can have faith in anything you want. It's entirely up to you. And like Julia said, there are so many religions out there. You can pick whichever one.
A Christian religion would say that your soul goes to heaven. The Muslims, I think, do they believe that it's
heaven, but they call it
something else?
Jehovah's
Witness.
To be fair,
Jewish religion, there's nothing. It's just
nothing.
just nothingness.
Really?
Yeah,
Things
it's really
like,
depressing.
Jehovah's Witnesses and
it's just
Christians
like
and Muslims.
it's like,
to be fair, believe the same thing. It pretty much is exactly the same. The Quran is very similar to the Bible. Very, very similar.
They all are, to
It's
be
all
fair.
different beliefs, isn't it? It's what you believe.
Same belief, different methods. That's what I say.
It is interesting though.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Thanks for talking about it with me. I was just having a look at the time, I think, on someone else's phone. It's already
2:30.
2:30, and I don't want to keep you ages, so